Hi, I'm back. Okay, so we were at this part, how the thrones came together, how the Khiljis took over. So now we are going to do the first Sultan of the Mamluk dynasty was who? Qutbuddin Aibak, who had the titular name of Sultan and reigned from 1206 to 1210. He temporarily quelled the rebellions of Nasruddin Kabacha of Multan and Tajuddin Zildos of Ghazni, making Lahore his capital, and he took control over North India through administrative hold over Delhi. So Delhi was the main part, not from today, from the right of the time of the Sultanate of the Sultans. Delhi was the head office of India. He also initiated the construction of Delhi's earliest Muslim monuments, the Quwwat ul Islam Mosque and the Qutub Minar. In 1210, he died due to injuries received from an accident while playing a game of polo in Lahore. Polo is you play on the horse with a long stick, you hit the ball. So he had an accident while playing polo in Lahore, and 1210 he died due to injuries because he was playing on, he fell down from his horse actually, and he was impaled over on the pommel of his saddle. You know, the top part of the saddle, he fell on top of that, and he was buried near Anarkali Bazaar in Lahore. The second Sultan was Aram Shah, that's what I told you, 1210 to 1211. So an elite group of 40 nobles named Chihalgani, the 40, means Chihalgani means 40, conspired against Aram Shah and invited Shamsuddin Iltutmish, the governor of Badaum, to replace Aram. Iltutmish defeated Aram in a plain of Judd near Delhi. That's in 1211. It was not quite certain what became of Aram. No one knows what did Iltutmish do, murder and bury him or throw him in the river or just burnt him off. No one knows anything about him. We didn't get any information. So the first was Qutbuddin Aibak, second was Aram Shah, the third Sultan was Shamsuddin Iltutmish, who was the titular name of Nasir Amir ul Mumin. That was his name. His actual name was Nasir Amir ul Muminin. His reign was from 1211 to 1236. He shifted the capital of from Lahore to Delhi and trebled the exchequer. He defeated Nasruddin Kabacha of Multan and of Ghazni, who declared themselves contenders of Delhi. Okay, Mughals invaded India during that time, and the person who had invaded with the Mughals was Jalaluddin Magaba Barni, who was defeated at the Battle of Indus by Genghis Khan in 1221. After Genghis Khan's death, Iltutmish consolidated his hold on the North India by retaking many of the lost territories which in 1230 he built the Hauz-e-Shamsi reservoir in Mehrauli, that's in Delhi. And in 1231 he built the Sultan Ghari, which was the first Islamic mausoleum in Delhi. Okay, place of worship in Delhi. That was the mosque in Delhi. So the fourth Sultan was Rukuddin Firoz, who had the titular name of Sultan and reigned from April 1236 to November 1236. So it was very short time. He ruled for only 7 months, and his mother Shah Turkan for only 7 months, and his mother Shah Turkan, for all practical purposes, was running the government. His mother was helping him to run the government. He abandoned himself to pursue personal pleasure and debauchery, to considerable outrage of the citizenry. On November 9, 1236, both Rukunuddin Firoz and his mother Shah Turkan was assassinated by Chihalgani, by the 40, this group of people who were there. The son had gone into bad habits, and at the cost of the citizenship of the citizens of the people of his empire, he was doing adultery or whatever, and both his mother and son were killed. So the fifth Sultana, we cannot call her a Sultan. In the first part only I had said Sultana. So, but in the book it is given as Sultan. I'll just check and I'll confirm. Okay, so it says here Sultana. Yes, it says Razia Sultan, but it's actually Sultana. You cannot call a girl a Sultan, you have to call her a Sultana. Was Razia al-Din, whose name was actually Jalalat Uddin Razia Sultana, and reigned from 1236 to 1240. And as the first female Muslim ruler in India, she initially managed to impress the nobles and administratively handled the whole Sultanate very well. People like to listen to women, and if a woman is good, she has that character and she has that power, and it's good. I like working under women. They have that bold character. They're very good managing people. However, she began associating with the African Jamaluddin Yaqut, provoking racial antagonism amongst the nobles and clergy, who were primarily Central Asian, Turkic, and already resented the rule of female monarch. Actually, she fell in love with another slave of her, African slave, that was Jamaluddin Yaqut. Yaqut, she had fallen in love with her, and her people didn't like her about that. They didn't want, some people also got the chance to say, we don't want women there. There are many people who don't like women people ruling them, or females ruling over them. So she was, and already resented the rule of a female monarch. They didn't want a female monarchy. So she was defeated by a powerful nobleman, Malik Al-Tunia, whom she agreed to marry. Al-Tunia wanted to marry her, but she was not marrying because she was in a relationship with this Jamaluddin Yaqut. But to get her power, she wanted to marry her. Her half-brother, Muizzuddin Bahram, however, usurped the throne with the help of Chehalgani and defeated the combined forces of Sultana and her husband. Again, her half-brother, I don't know how many brothers she had, but her half-brother must be some other, her father must have had many wives. These sultans had many wives. It must have been another brother or a step-brother. They usurped the throne, and with the help of a Chehalgani, again those 40 nobles, they defeated the combined forces of Sultana and her husband Al-Tunia. The couple fled and reached Kaithal, where the remaining forces abandoned them. The both fell in the hands of Jats and were robbed and killed in 14th October 1240. That means they had come into the parts of Punjab, the Jats, the Punjabis, and at that time they had come into India. So they also, the Punjabs, the people of Punjab also wanted, they were also Hindus and they wanted to have their own groups. They didn't like the sultans, so they were robbed and killed on the 14th of October 1240. The sixth sultan was Muizzuddin Bahram. So his title name was, he had also got the name of Sultan and reigned from 1240 to 15th May 1242. Now during his reign, the Chehalgani became disorderly and constantly bickered among each other. Now the 40 people, that group nobles each other, they started fighting between themselves. And during this period of unrest, that the Mughals invaded Punjab and sacked Lahore. Muizzuddin Bahram was too weak to take any action against them, and the Chehalgani besieged him in the White Fort of Delhi and put him to death in 1242. This is what happened. Seventh Sultan was Alauddin Masood, who had the name of a Sultan. Again, he reigned from 1242 to 1246. He was effectively the puppet for the Chehalgani, those 40 people, the 40 nobles, who did not actually have much power or influence in the government. Instead, he became infamous for his fondness of entertainment and wine. So the Chehalganis used him because they saw that he was very fondness of entertainment, women, girls, and the dancing part and that wine part, alcohol. So they put him engaged in that, and they tried to rule the place. By 1246, the chiefs had become upset with Alauddin Masood's increasing hunger for more power, and replaced him with his cousin Nasiruddin Mahmud, who was another grandson of Iltutmish. Okay, so the eighth Sultan becomes Nasiruddin Mahmud. So one after another they were keep on changing, so this is what was happening. So power was not exactly with anyone. At the same time, it was just creating issues. It was happening one by one, one by one, it was keep on happening there. Okay, so that's all about it, and so we'll do this in the next video till Nasiruddin Mahmud. So I can finish this one. The 8th Sultan was Nasiruddin Mahmud, who also had the title name of, he was not called the Sultan, he was called Nasiruddin Firoz Shah, and reigned from 1246 to 1266. As a ruler, Mahmud was known to be very religious, spending most of his time in prayer, and was renowned for aiding the poor and distressed. It was his deputy Sultan Ghiyath-ud-Din Balban who primarily dealt with state affairs. So Balban was a person who was actually dealing with the state affairs of Nasruddin Mahmud, as he was a very religious person and a very good charity giver, and also during his time he was mostly in his time in prayer and with Allah and all that, and he was thinking about for the poor people and the distressed people. It was his deputy Sultan, his junior Ghiyath-ud-Din Balban, who primarily dealt with the state affairs. So he came to know what thing is happening, and the ninth Sultan was Ghiyath-ud-Din Balban. So we'll keep it till till Nasruddin Muhammad, and we'll come back in the next class. That's on Thursday. I'll start with Ghiyath-ud-Din Balban and we'll finish I'll come back. What I'll do is I'll come back in the next video and I'll finish this Ghiyath-ud-Din Balban issue here, and we'll finish the Mamluk dynasty. So that will be much more easier for us. Okay. So Ghiyath-ud-Din Balban. After Ghiyath-ud-Din Balban, we have Muizzuddin Kaikabad. So after Muizzuddin Kaikabad, we have Samsuddin Kayakumar. That's 1240 and in 1290. So actually his name is not so much introduced into this part. So we'll come back. I'll read that and come back in the book so that I can read for you till there. Okay. So that will be really great. So I'll come back in the next video. Just hold on. I'll be right back. Okay. Hold on. I'll be right back. Don't vanish.